Okay, want to do a quick little video on motivation. I get asked about motivation probably more than I do anything else. And I just got asked, Kyle, how do you have the motivation to show up at the gym every morning? And, I notice you don't take days off, and, I just can't find the motivation to do that. And so this is what I responded to this person with. I said, motivation is a small percentage of what's required to implement any change. You need the desire to make a decision to change and the determination and the discipline to follow it through. And I think that kind of sums up what is required to actually implement any change into your life, okay? You need a desire to make a decision and then the determination and the discipline to follow that decision through. Motivation is a very small percentage of what's required to implement any real change. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline doesn't come and go. Motivation will leave you. If you're a disciplined person, you're a disciplined person and it doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't mean you don't have off days. Doesn't mean that some days aren't better than others. I can tell you I don't say this to brag, but I'm one of the most disciplined people I know in many areas. I'm also one of the most undisciplined people I know in other areas. For example, my diet. I could clean up my diet so much better than I do. Now, if I cheat or do something bad, I work it off the next day, try to, but I that's an area of my life that I'm not as disciplined as I am in other areas. And that's okay. I'm not trying to be some model. I'm not trying to enter a bodybuilding contest. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. I enjoy good food and at this point in my life, that's okay. I did set a goal for myself to have abs by my birthday. I believe my birthday's Sunday, and I'm gonna have to get a little more specific on defined abs. I got a couple of them coming in, not the rest. They're still kind of hidden a little bit, but we're getting there. And that's a discipline thing. I was not disciplined enough leading into that to get the results that I required. Now, the thing with discipline is, the thing with implementing any change is it takes work and it takes uncomfort. You have to step out of your comfort zone to implement any change, and I think that's where most people fail, or most people get uncomfortable, or most people quit doing the work. You can wake up one day and be super motivated. You can watch a motivational video. You can have a talk with your friend and find motivation and just be on fire to do whatever it is you're trying to do. Get back in the gym, start a business, work on your marriage, become a better parent, whatever it is, okay? That motivation is going to fade out, especially as things get tougher, okay? And I'm a big believer that nothing good comes easy. You are not gonna find anything good or anything rewarding or anything that's worthwhile that comes easy, okay? If you want an easy life, you have to make hard decisions, hard choices, okay? If you want a hard life, you have to make easy choices. So for example, if you are choosing to go out drinking every night, if you are choosing to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat cookies and play video games, you are making easy choices. Your life is going to be difficult, okay? If you are getting up at 3:45 in the morning and getting to the gym at 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning, that's a difficult choice. That's a difficult thing to do every day. If you are deciding to read when other people are watching TV, if you are deciding to work on yourself when other people are relaxing, if you are deciding to eat healthy food when other people are eating bad food, there's all kinds of levels to that. And so, where most people, especially in the world that I kind of am in right now, I get a lot of middle-aged addicts reaching out to me that feel like they've just kind of wasted their life. And that resonates so much with me. It's hard to even articulate that. I can remember before I got clean, mostly in my mid to late 30s, just having such a hard time with the fact that here I am, 35, 36, 37, 38 years old, not where I want to be in life, and knowing that I'm hooked on these little blue fucking devil pills that I cannot shake to save my life. If I go, more than 12, 13 hours, I start feeling sick. If I go, anything over 24 hours, I'm full blown, going through withdrawals. And you start getting to a point that you think you can't function without these things. And when you do that, when you're not, 18, 19, 20 years old, you just feel like a complete failure. And that's not the case. You can still turn things around, but you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, okay? You have to make decisions that are not easy decisions to make. You have to implement changes that are not easy to do. It's not an easy path, but it is the most rewarding path you will ever put yourself on. And there's gonna be times you wanna jump off. There's gonna be times where it's not easy to get up in the morning. It's not easy to go to the gym. It's a process, and you have to have the determination and the dedication to make yourself show up every day. You have to be very disciplined when you start implementing any changes. There's different ways of viewing habits. Some people say if you do something for 30 days, it turns into a habit. I don't necessarily buy that. I think it needs to be a little bit more sustained than that. I think 90-day mark is when you start creating actual habits that will stay with you. But again, everybody's different. How your brain works is different than how my brain works. What it takes for you to create a new habit in your life could be completely different than what it takes for me to create a new habit in my life. With that said, anybody is not going to implement any change without determination, without dedication, without discipline. It's just not going to happen. You have to be disciplined to implement any kind of change. And so for myself, when I got clean, it had been 14, 15, 16 months in there, and I wanted to start going to the gym. I was super hesitant about going to the gym again because that's what led to my pill addiction. I had legitimate injuries that required surgeries, that required pain medication, that I abused, that caused this slippery slope of me in this full-blown addiction that I couldn't shake to save my life. Well, I was scared to death of doing it, decided I was just gonna start doing it. Everything hurt. I would make myself go to the gym. I started out making myself get there at like 6:30 in the morning, 6:15, 6:30 in the morning, and I would literally walk on a treadmill for 15 minutes. That was my first probably 30 days of going to the gym. No joke. I would walk on a treadmill for 15 minutes, and that was my workout. That has, over time, over the course of, 3 years, morphed into, me every day I get in 5 miles. Sometimes it's interval running, sometimes it's a jog, sometimes it's a brisk walk. Sometimes, it's a higher paced run. And 3-4 days a week I'm lifting. I have yoga, I have jujitsu, I do a bunch of stuff physically to keep myself right. And I have learned over the course of this progression and this growth with me that for me to be my best self, I have to do something physically exhausting or push myself physically for my mental state to be as good as it can be. That might not be the case for you. Everybody's different. I personally believe that everybody needs to do something physical to help them be in a good place mentally. I think that's something that our body requires. I think that we need to be moving and exercising and have some kind of output physically every single day. I think that's critical to overall health, but again, to each their own. What I want to talk about though is the thing I keep getting asked is the motivation question. How do I have the motivation to do this? How do I find the motivation for this? How do I this? How do I that? It has nothing to do with motivation, guys. Motivation is such a small percentage. It's maybe 1% of the entire equation. It's determination, it's dedication, it's discipline. Discipline is huge. You have to force yourself to do things you don't want to do, okay? For example, if you're abusing a substance and you want to quit abusing that substance, you have to force yourself to stop taking that substance. Not an easy thing to do. Most likely you're going to be sick, most likely you're going to feel like garbage, most likely you enjoy the feeling that substance gives you. That's why you've ended up addicted to that substance, okay? You know that substance is killing you. You know that substance is horrible for you, but yet you continue to do it because it's inside that comfort zone, okay? You have to step out of that comfort zone. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable to have any kind of growth. So in quitting a substance, you have to go into it knowing, okay, this first week is going to be pure hell. It's going to be miserable. I'm going to hate existing. It's not going to be fun for me. And you have to do that day by day. You have to wake up day one. I'm not taking X today. I'm not going to do it. And you need to do things to set yourself up for success, whether that's in a treatment facility, whether that's having friends and family around you, whatever that looks like for you, you know, don't be an idiot about it. Set yourself up for success. Don't just wake up tomorrow and I'm going to quit, stay in the same patterns, around the same people, doing the same things, because you're not going to be successful. You have to set yourself up for success. So, you know, push through day one, push through day two. And that goes with anything. Going to the gym, eating healthy, working on your relationship, being a better human being, reading, whatever it is. You know, I'm going to start today by doing blah, 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 blah. I'm going to focus on today. I'm going to make sure I do it today. Tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing. Not, I'm going to do this for the next 30 days and look 30 days down the road. You need to look right in front of your nose, right now. Handle today. Handle today before anything else. That's discipline, okay? Motivation will leave you, discipline won't. It takes some work to be disciplined. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of effort. It sucks. There's times you force yourself to do things you don't want to do, but the end result is always worth it. So walking through an addiction per se, at the end of walking through pure hell is the best feeling you'll ever have in your life. Talk to any addict, any recovered addict, and they will tell you that the best thing they ever did was get clean. Any one of them will tell you that. Anybody who's got any actual sobriety under their belt, okay, don't talk to people who've been clean for 2 months or 3 months, or even people who've been clean for a year or less. Kudos to those people. They're not really there yet, okay? I personally believe it's a year and a half-ish to where you fully start getting your feet underneath you and you're somewhat secure in your sobriety. That's how it was for me. Other people's stories or their path might be a little different, but I truly think it takes some time to get your feet underneath you as a sober person, not relying on this substance to mask whatever it is you're using it to mask. And that takes, there's a process to that. You have to get used to living that. You have to walk through that pain. You have to walk through those issues that you've been masking with your substance. And that's not an easy thing to do, and it's not a thing that you can do very quickly. It's a process to doing that. But again, it's not a motivation thing. It's a dedication thing. It's a discipline thing. It's a determination thing. There's a process to implementing any change in your life. And motivation is such a small part of that, it's not even funny. You really have to be disciplined. Discipline is the key to making any change. It's not motivation. So if you're thinking of implementing any kind of change into your life, focus on the discipline, not the motivation. Focus on forcing yourself every day and holding yourself accountable every day. If you set a goal that you're going to go to the gym every day for the next 30 days, and don't, when you break these things down, don't go crazy and I'm going to go every day for a year. That's unrealistic. Focus on this week. Today is, what's today? Wednesday. Wednesday through Sunday, I'm going to go to the gym every day. Every single day, and I'm going to hold myself accountable to making sure I get to the gym every day. And do that. Sunday comes, you've hit the gym every day, you set your goal. Monday through the next Sunday, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. No days off, no excuses. Some workouts might be better than other workouts. I might show up like I did and walk on a treadmill for 15 minutes. At least you're doing something. At least you are moving forward. I think it was Martin Luther King whose quote was, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, something along those lines. As long as you're doing something to move forward. That is so true. As whatever it is, whatever you're capable of doing, do that. Whatever it is, and start now. Motivation is a big help in initiating change, but it's not going to help you in sustaining change. It's just going to help you get going, okay? So I don't want to completely shit on motivation, but motivation, it's not something you can hang your hat on to implement any real change in your life. It is discipline. Discipline is the key to anything in life, really, but focus on the discipline, focus on setting small goals, focus on baby steps, and focus on doing whatever it is you can do right now. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not waiting for all of these things to fall in line for you to start implementing any change. Start right now, right this fucking second, right now. Not tomorrow, not after today, not after the end of the week, not after your friend's party, not after, right fucking now, okay? That's the only way you implement any real change. Start right now. And do what you can do. If you can't go to the gym and run 5 miles, don't try to go to the gym and run 5 miles. Be realistic. Show up to the gym and walk on a treadmill for 15 minutes. Walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes. Sign up for a yoga class. Do something, but start moving forward. That is the key to implementing any changes. Is you have to have discipline, you have to take action, and you have to take immediate action. So, these messages I get, and it's probably the most common message I get, is asking me about my motivation. It's not a motivation thing, it's a discipline thing. I have become very disciplined over the last 5 years. Since I've gotten clean, I have held myself accountable on a level that I don't mean to sound cocky, very few people do. I hold myself accountable for every single thing that I do. Everything I do, there's some kind of accountability there. Not saying I'm perfect, I still screw up constantly, I still do things I wish I didn't do. I am by far not a perfect human being. I'm a very flawed human being. I have a lot that I still need to work on, but I've made a lot of steps over the last 5 years. I've made a lot of improvements over the last 5 years, and that's from discipline, it's not from motivation, okay? And one last thing, when I talk about starting now, I can't emphasize how important that is to start right now. I spent years and years and years of my life gonna start Monday. I have pages, I'm sure most of you know I've been working on a book for quite some time. It's gonna be called Letters from an Addict. And I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll be set to move forward with everything. Not rushing it, it needs to be perfect, but I have countless letters that I've wrote to myself sitting in my office, usually higher than a kite. You can tell by my handwriting, but I would call it get clean. I'm gonna get clean or start living clean Monday. And I would do that because if anybody found my notes, I could chalk it up to, no, I'm not talking about pill usage, I'm talking about my diet and getting healthy. So I did that, that was kind of a code word for me. But what I was talking about is quitting pills, okay? And it was always Monday. It was always Monday. Monday I'm gonna start blah, 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 blah. Monday I'm gonna blah, 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 blah. And Monday would come and it would last a few hours and I start feeling shitty. The sweats would start, the stomach would start, my nose would start running, all the signs, and next thing you know, I'm sending texts to find pills, and that's that, because Lord knows if I still had some when Monday came, I'm taking them, I'm not even waiting. So I would use everything I had that Sunday. Monday would come, I'd be miserable for a little bit, end up finding pills, and we're off to the races again. And I would justify it, I'm gonna just get 20 pills and I'm gonna use those to taper off. Well, that Wednesday I'm out of those 20 pills and now it's off to the races, and this was just this repetitive cycle for years and years and years. So I can't stress the importance of starting now. That start now. Don't wait, don't postpone, start right now. If you're trying to quit something and you have some of that substance in your house, flush it, get rid of it. Sounds drastic, I get it, and you don't want to toss it, but that's the only way you're gonna make any changes. You have to have discipline, you have to hold yourself accountable, and what better way to do that than go flush whatever the fuck it is you're trying to quit. Go get rid of it. Don't give yourself that option. What I did when I quit is anybody I had on my phone that I would get pills from, I found all of them, I blocked all of them, and I deleted their numbers. So if they tried to call me, it's not going through. I can't find their numbers. I didn't have anybody's number memorized. I eliminated that option for me. I got rid of it, okay? Now, it took me a long time to get there. There were years of me saying I'm gonna quit where I didn't delete numbers or block people or do anything like that. And one of the next videos I'm gonna do is gonna be about my addiction. That's another one I get asked a lot. So I'll start getting more content out regularly. I've got some guys involved that are gonna start helping with some of this stuff. Got some big things around the corner that are gonna be coming out. So it's time to really start pushing this stuff. And again, I've said this before, I am a very flawed human being. I haven't held myself accountable on this side of things, and that's going to change. I mentioned my birthday's coming up. I use my birthday like most people use New Year's. My birthday is when I sit and reflect and set goals for the following birthday, and where I really do a hard self analyzation of where am I at, what have I done, what changes did I make from last year to this year, what could I have done better, and I really, really hold myself accountable, and I'm harder on myself than I probably should be, but that's how I have to be for me to have success in this. So, that's one of the things that hits me real hard is this last year, I really dropped the ball on content, on creating a platform and creating awareness that there's somebody out there that understands what you're going through. There's somebody out there that doesn't look at addiction like most people do. There's somebody out there that doesn't think it's a disease, doesn't think you're sick, doesn't think any of that stuff. Think you've made a culmination of bad choices that have led to you having an addiction with a substance. I don't think you have some disease. I don't think you're some sickly person, and I don't think you need to spend the rest of your life strictly focusing on being sober and that's it. I think you have a gift. I think that thing inside you that makes you an addict, that thing inside you that has caused you to create this addiction is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I just think you're using it in a very bad way. I think that same thing inside you that is causing you to derail your life is the same thing that's inside Michael Jordan, Kevin Hart, The Rock, any of those elite performers, any of your elite athletes, elite stars, ultra successful businessmen or women. I think that never settling, that one more, always there's another level. I'm not good here. There's more. I want more. I think that same thing is inside every addict, and I think if you understand that you have this inside you, I think if you heal yourself, okay, because addiction is from masking something. We become addicts because it's easier, for me, it was easier to take this pill than deal with this. It's easier to take this drink than to face this. It's easier to do these drugs than to sit and deal with this or face this. And once you heal yourself, once you kind of walk through that storm and do the work on yourself to put that behind you, a determined addict is unstoppable, okay? So once you're healed, you still have this thing inside you. You can now use this thing to do whatever it is you want to do in life. A determined addict cannot be stopped. We think of angles when other people say there's no angles. We do not hear the word no when it's something we want to do. We'll figure out a way. And so, I think that it's my calling in life to help get that word out there. There's people who need to hear it. I wish there was somebody like me years ago when I was trying to get clean, because, who knows how much sooner I would have got clean. I was so embarrassed. I didn't think anybody would understand. I didn't think anybody looked at it like I did. And so that's one of the things I'm going to do this next year, is really focus on getting content. I've got people involved. I've got, shout out to Sharif and Matt, my guys who are going to help take this to another level. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that are being worked on. There's a lot of things that have been being worked on, and now it's go time. But moral of the story is, even 5 years after I've been doing this work, I still drop the ball. I'm not perfect. I'm very disciplined, and I hold myself accountable, and because of that, I will implement the changes I need to implement to fix this area, to do what I need to do, to create more content, to try to get more eyes on me, to try to create a platform where people can come and feel safe. The whole reason I wanted to start Power Over Pills is I wanted a safe place for addicts to turn and ask questions. Part of my agreement with myself when I came out about my addiction was I was going to be a completely open book. I was not going to hide anything, deny anything. I've talked about, you name it, I've talked about it when it comes to addiction and walking through an addiction and coming off of opiates, and I haven't held anything back. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to continue moving forward. I'm going to continue to build this platform, but I wanted a safe place with Power Over Pills for addicts or addict family members, people who have a loved one who's in active addiction, to be able to go and reach out and ask questions and get honest answers and feel safe to come out about their addiction or their substance, or ask questions about their spouse. I would bet probably 30 or 40% of the messages I get are from spouses of addicts, and they don't quite know how to bring it up or fix it or talk to their spouse or help them through this. They see a big problem, they don't know what to do, it's getting out of control, and they feel stuck. So I'm going to focus on building this. I'm going to create a platform that will reach people, that is a safe place for addicts to turn. But again, it's not a motivation thing. It's a discipline thing. I need to be more disciplined. I'm motivated. Motivation comes and goes. I have to fix my discipline when it comes to this area. So if you're looking at making any changes in your life, if there's anything you really want to do, don't focus on the motivation. Focus on discipline and holding yourself accountable. That is the key. Okay?